Here we are, a bunch of Ceratos on the Islander server, completely bored out of our mind. We had decided then, rather than the usual, just walking around, living our life in a walking simulator, it was time to create some carnage. Therefore, me and our group had decided that we would play Cerato, one of the more vicious dinosaurs that has a tendency of killing everything. We managed to make our way to Highlands, where we had caught up with a little smaller Cerato. And of course this Cerato was needing food. So when we saw a chance with a small little dibble, of course we took it. After killing the dibble, we decided to get our nutrients in order and of course make sure the little one was well fed. After that, it was time to get some water. We had went our way down to water access, filled up our water, when we realized something more interesting coming towards us. A Deinosuchus on land. And of course, when they are on land, it's time for us to bully them a little bit, just like they do when we try to drink. Of course, it is not usual that we find a Krog on land, so I learned my lesson a little bit here. First time I tried to take a bite, and of course I get jumped. So now it was already time to be a bit more careful, but that is not a thing that I'm very good at. Wounded just like the rest of us, the Krog decided to return back to the water. We had decided to hang around for a little bit, just getting a little bit of our health back before we continued on. But it didn't take long before we came to Highlands, where we found a Tenno hanging around. We had decided to stalk him for a little bit, looking out, seeing how the situation were before we were to really go in. Or some of us had. Until one of the ceras decided to run head first into the tail of the Tenantos. So now it's time to all of the others to save the day. After finally taking down one of the Tennos, it was time to get our feast on. We still had the little one we needed to provide for, right? After finishing our body and healing for a little bit, we decided to move on during the night. And this was where we came upon a small little family of dibbles. Though, we were discussing if this was a good idea, cause one dibble is already dangerous, and in this case there were two of them, plus their small little children. Since one of the dibbles decided to come rushing over towards us, leaving his family behind, our thoughts on taking a chance with him got bigger and bigger, cause with them spread out it gives us a bigger chance of taking down at least one of the parents. While we were sitting waiting for our small Sarah to come back after some unfortunate internet issues, we came upon this lonely Sarah. And as some of us were starting to get a little bit hungry, we decided to get ourselves a little snack. After brutally murdering this lonely Sarah, we had decided it was time for a new hunt. We ended up in Highlands where we came upon a Stego and a Maya, slowly enjoying each other's company. So we proceeded to stalk them for a little bit, just trying to find the best position to make a move. Sadly for us, our hunt didn't last long, because the server started to have a bunch of lag spikes, and then this happened. Yes, the Stego killed the Maya, and our hunt had to end. All confused, we were standing there. Of course, appreciating the free meal, just sad that we didn't get to hunt the Maya, but only getting to feast on it. After our last hunt rudely got interrupted by the Stego killing the Maya, we went to Highlands Lake to try and see what else we could find around. And this was where we spotted him. There were some Tennos around that we had decided was time to stalk. Sadly for us, they were again hanging around some Stegos. And not really fan of fighting Stegos, we decided to hang around a bit looking for a better position and a better time to catch them off guard. As the Tennos left the area with the Stegos, we had decided it was time to pursue them. So we followed the Tennos, trying to catch up to them with our photosynthetic tissue, when we realized they started hanging around the log. So here we were, all caught up to the Tennos, and ready for a fight. After easily taking down one of the Tennos, all prepared to enjoy the spoils of our kill, a Krog of course had to ruin it. Coming on land, contesting us for our body and sending us away, without even a bite to enjoy. So, we decided to go to the bushes and hang around and see what else we could find to hunt. While we were sitting here by the bushes, relaxing, just waiting for something to come walking by, our prayers got answered. A small dibble came walking towards us, so of course we had to take the chance. Knowing there were crocs in the pond, we of course hurried to try and get something to eat before they would come and again steal our food. But as we were expecting, of course, here came one. Thinking it was the same croc who came to steal our food, which he at this point were not allowed to, we were a bit upset that he was now stealing our body once again. So we tried to talk with him just to figure out that it was a totally new croc, which we were expecting was probably nested in due to them having almost the same colors. So we decided to simply just leave the body and get on our way. But since it was getting late, we were discussing if we should just log out. And that's what we ultimately ended up doing. So we went from the body, went to a bush, and then just simply decided to lay down and call it a day.